Natural resources and their use. Outline map. When does nature become a resource? Nature includes all life and non-life forms not created by humans. When humans use these elements for sustenance or create products from them, they become resources. Accessibility depends on technology, economic feasibility, and cultural acceptance. Categories of natural resources. Resources essential for life are air, water, soil, and food for necessary for survival. Resources for materials. Natural materials like wood, marble, metals, and precious stones used to make tools, furniture, art, etc. Resources for energy. Resources of energy such as coal, petroleum, natural gas, sunlight, wind, and flowing water. Renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources can be naturally replenished, for example, solar energy, wind energy, forest, river water, and must be managed sustainably to avoid depletion. Non-renewable resources formed over millions of years and can't be replenished quickly. For example, coal, petroleum, minerals, and need judicious use and transition to alternatives. Number 3. Distribution of natural resources and its implications. Uneven distribution influences settlement patterns, trade, economy, and sometimes conflicts. Resource-rich areas may develop industries and towns, but also face displacement and environmental issues. Shared resources across political boundaries require cooperation and negotiation. Number 4. The natural resource course. Having abundant resources doesn't guarantee economic prosperity. Some resource-rich regions experience slower growth due to lack of value addition or poor governance. India has generally avoided this by investing in industries and technology. Number 5. Responsible and wise use of natural resources. Stewardship. Restoration and regeneration of renewable resources. Nature's cycles restore ecosystems and regenerate resources naturally. Human activities sometimes push usage beyond regeneration capacity. Overexploitation of groundwater, a caselet from Punjab. Excessive groundwater extraction for agriculture led to depletion and pollution, a long-term sustainability issue affecting water availability and health. The case of cement. Cement production causes pollution affecting health and environment. Alternatives like mud, stone, plant-based and recycled materials are being explored. A caselet from Sikkim. Transition to organic farming improved soil health, biodiversity, farmer incomes, and tourism. Shows how traditional practices combined with modern knowledge promote sustainability. Responsible and judicious use of resources. Non-renewables must be used carefully while transitioning to sustainable alternatives. The International Solar Alliance. India's leadership in renewable energy. Coalition of sunshine-rich countries promoting solar power. India shares technology and financing, exemplified by large solar parks. Natural resources and their use. Expanded outline notes. When does nature become a resource? Definition of nature includes all living and non living elements of the environment not made by humans. Becoming a resource. When humans use these elements for their needs, like cutting trees for wood or extracting water, they become resources. Accessibility conditions. Technological feasibility. We must have the means to access the resource. For example, deep sea oil extraction technology. Economic feasibility. It must be financially viable to extract and use. Cultural acceptability. Some resources, like trees in sacred groves, may be culturally protected and not exploited. For example, trees in a forest are nature, but once cut and used for furniture, they become resources. Number 2, categories of natural resources. Resources essential for life. These include air, water, soil, and food, which are fundamental for the survival of all living beings. We rely on these directly for breathing, drinking, and growing food. Example: clean water from forest, fresh water from rivers. Resources for materials. Natural materials transformed into tools, objects, or art. Humans use wood, metals, stones, and minerals to build houses, make furniture, jewelry, and machinery. Example: marble used in buildings, wood for furniture. Resources for energy. Energy resources powering homes, transport, and industries can be from fossil fuels, coal, petroleum, renewable resource, sunlight, wind, flowing water, or gases as natural gas. For example, hydroelectric power from rivers, solar panels using sunlight. Renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources that replenish naturally within a short time frame, dependent on maintaining natural cycles like rainfall, photosynthesis. Examples are solar energy, wind energy, forest, river water. Threat: if used faster than nature can replenish, such as overcutting forest, then become non-renewable in practice. Non-renewable resources. Resources formed over millions of years can't be replenished or replaced quickly. Examples: coal, petroleum, natural gas, minerals like iron and gold. Once exhausted, these are gone for human timescales. Need responsible use and development of alternatives. Number 3, distribution of natural resources and its implications. Resources are unevenly distributed across the globe and within countries. This unevenness shapes where people live, what jobs are available, and trade routes. Resource rich areas often develop industries and infrastructure but may also face displacement of communities and environmental damage. Shared natural resources like rivers cross political boundaries, requiring cooperation, such as Kaveri River sharing in India. For example, mineral rich areas like Jharkhand and Odisha attract mining industries, but local people may face displacement. Number 4. The natural resource curse. Having abundant resources doesn't always lead to prosperity. Sometimes reliance on resources without value addition or good governance causes slower economic growth or conflict. India has avoided this curse largely by developing industries that process resources and investing in technology. The challenge remains to balance extraction with sustainability and inclusive growth. Number 5. Responsible and wise use of natural resources. Stewardship. A restoration or regeneration of renewable resources. Nature restores ecosystems and regenerates resources through natural cycles. Fallen trees decompose and enrich soil. Human actions can disrupt these cycles, leading to degradation. Overexploitation of groundwater, a caselet from Punjab. The Green Revolution increased agricultural production but required high water use. Overpumping groundwater led to depletion and pollution with pesticides. Water tables have dropped drastically, making water harder and more expensive to access. Long-term solution: water harvesting, reduced wastage, sustainable farming. The case of cement. Cement is essential for construction, but its production releases harmful dust and pollutants. This affects human health, plants, and soil quality. Efforts include pollution control guidelines and exploring eco-friendly materials like mud, stone, plant-based composites, and recycled plastic. A caselet from Sikkim. Sikkim shifted to 100% organic farming, banning chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Farmers used compost, natural repellents, and crop diversity to restore soil health. Resulted in improved biodiversity, higher income for farmers, and increased tourism. Demonstrates a successful blending of traditional knowledge with modern practices. Responsible and judicious use of resources. Non-renewable resources should be used carefully and sparingly. Transitioning to renewable energy and sustainable materials is crucial. The International Solar Alliance, India's leadership in renewable energy. Coalition of countries with abundant sunlight promoting solar energy use. India provides technical support and funding for solar projects worldwide. Bhadla Solar Park in Rajasthan is one of the largest, powering a significant portion of the state's energy needs. Symbolizes a shift from fossil fuels to clean, renewable energy. Important terms: Natural resources. Materials or substances found in nature used by humans for survival and development. Renewable resources. Resources that can be replenished naturally over time, for example, sunlight, wind, water. Non renewable resources. Resources that take millions of years to form and can't be replenished or replaced once used, such as coal or petroleum. Biotic resources. Resources that come from living things, such as plants and animals. Abiotic resources. Non-living resources like air, water, minerals. Conservation. The careful management and protection of natural resources to prevent their depletion. Sustainable development. Development that meets present needs without compromising future generations. Fossil fuels. Fuels formed from the remains of dead plants and animals like coal, oil, natural gas. Minerals. Natural substances obtained from rocks used for various purposes, such as iron, copper. Water resources. All resources of water on earth, including rivers, lakes, groundwater, and rainfall. Deforestation. Large scale removal of trees from forests for agriculture, construction, etc. Afforestation. Planting trees in areas where there were no previous forests. Pollution. The presence of harmful substances in the environment that cause damage to nature. Overexploitation. Excessive use of resources leading to their depletion or extinction. Recycling. The process of converting waste materials into reusable objects. Alternative energy. Energy sources that are not fossil fuels like solar, wind, hydroelectric, and geothermal energy. Hydroelectricity. Electricity is generated using the flow of water. Biodiversity. The variety of plant and animal life in a particular habitat. Ecosystem. A community of living organisms and their interaction with the environment. Soil erosion. The wearing away of the topsoil by wind, water, or human activities.